Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. This is John and Jenna with Flippin' Ain't Easy. Wow, I am beat, guys. I have sort of burned the candles at both ends, and honestly, I could have said, you know what, no live stream, but for me, it's something I look forward to. I'm 100% honest with you guys when I say this is one of those things throughout the week that I look forward to, and that's just kind of spending time with you guys and just talking shop. So many thoughts go through my mind about the business. Even when I'm traveling yesterday, I got up early Sunday morning, flew out to Oakland, met up with a friend who drove out there, and a bunch of us went to tailgating at the game last night, the San Francisco and the 49ers and Cowboys game. And then we immediately after the game drove back from Oakland to LAX, where they dropped me off. And I was there for 2 hours before my flight. It was absolutely just a long, long day, but I had a really, really good time. But when I got home, I felt like I got hit by a truck. And I was like, okay, I'm glad it's a holiday today because we had decent sales. I mean, nothing to write home about.
Well, I had 8 on my account, and I'll take it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I'm just checking on the main account here, but
they're saying there's a bad echo.
Bad echo. Hello. Really?
Mike said it. Mike.
Can you go in the other room and listen to it? So hopefully we're not dealing with an echo issue. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to. I don't know what's going on because I have the webcam and I know that the feed on the audio is off on the webcam. So Jenna's in the other room. She's going to tell me how it sounds for her on her phone. So I got to tell you, if you can understand or hear what I'm saying.
No echo.
Okay, so something's maybe not right on your side. Is it Mike?
It's Mike and Lissa.
I don't know. Maybe
it may have in the beginning. I mean,
yeah.
Did it calm down?
I've got the same setup here, and it used to be that when I do a screen record, my webcam would pick up the audio and this Blue Yeti, and I had that set up to where it doesn't do that anymore. So sales for the weekend. I mean, Friday.
Joe said it sounds okay to me.
Okay, so Friday was 320. Not great, but I'm not going to get upset about that. Followed up with a 435 day on Saturday, and then of course it's like eBay knows that I'm gone. I have listings scheduled. And I have 169 yesterday, not good at all. And then 344 today so far. So considering I didn't have any listings scheduled to launch today, I don't think. I might have. I mean, I have to go and check, but that would have been launched already. So I don't know. I got up today with a couple hours to spare before the show, and I got outside, got listing. Knew I had to get to work. It's like the switch flipped for me in my mind. So I'm back to focus time. But she had 8. I had 14 sales. So it's not that bad.
And we had Posh, which had, hold on, I'll tell you. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, 4.
4.
And all those are removed?
Yes.
Okay.
Can you go in your account?
Yeah, we'll just do it later. We got a couple we have to take off. So, it's to me, I think the sales are down a little bit, but nothing to get excited about. I don't think anything in either direction. Last 7 days, 2,700. Last 31, 11,250. Down from the middle of the summer at 14,000. It says I'm down 16.7%. So, I would expect, I'm only trying to get on par with what I had over the summer. I'm not trying to get 15 to 20,000 a month in sales. I mean, it's nice if I could hit that.
That would be nice.
But I'm just trying to maintain, regardless of the time of the year, the type of products that I sell really, if you're someone getting surgery and you need a toilet seat, a rolling toilet seat, it doesn't matter if it's in the middle of the summer. It doesn't matter if it's the day after Thanksgiving. You're going to need that toilet seat, right? And for me, it's wanting to just be steady. I don't want huge swings. I don't want huge Q4s. My store, for my business model, I just want it to be steady year round. And that's kind of what I'm striving for. Now, a lot of videos, a lot of people coming out with content. I mean, you see content that I've come out with. But here's the thing with the algorithm changing, and some say it changed in April. I'm seeing it changing in September, like early to mid September is where I saw the changes. Okay, the effects of whatever eBay is doing behind the scenes. I don't know which one it is, because any changes that went into effect in April didn't affect me. Everything I was doing even at a better pace than April was pretty good and the summer was really good. So September rolls around and things are kind of falling off for me. So I'm thinking more that these changes that are affecting, the algorithm and the search results, I think are more like something that went on from April through September, kind of gradually. And they didn't catch up to me until September. Now, what does that mean? As far as the changes that eBay's made with the algorithm, it means that I think kind of officially, without eBay coming out with any kind of a manual, which they won't, that things are different. So if you're doing the same thing right now that you did back last year, and your sales, and this is the caveat, because I can tell you guys this, and if you're killing it, you shouldn't listen to me. If your sales are down and you're doing the same thing you did last year, it's time you make a change, okay? And I've been telling you guys this for at least the last year, that you guys cannot list, set it and forget it. The whole Ronco method, I'm just going to list 100 listings a day, and everything that I've listed in the past is going to take care of itself, because that ain't the way it works. This is a full service business, okay? You can't just do the listing and eBay is going to take care of the rest. It doesn't work that way. It really never has. I mean, it has a little bit, but if you had stale listings, your account wasn't as penalized as it is now when you have stale listings. It's just the way eBay has set it up. And so you guys that are having slow sales, and me, I'm having slower sales. It just tells me I need to get in and start diving deeper into the listings. For me, it's about item specifics. I know for myself, I keep coming across listings in my own store that the item specifics, you're trending. You see the item specifics that are going down the left side, and it'll say trending, or it'll say 1,000 searches, or something like that. Or you'll also have some that have no value next to it at all. And I think it's important to focus on the ones that are trending or have a value next to it, because eBay's trying to tell you that people are filtering out the searches, the search results with those item specifics. So I'm going to make a video. I don't want to get into this whole thing in this live stream because I want to do a visual. I want to make a video. So sometime tonight, I'm probably going to sit down and do a video where I go over my own listings, and I'm actually showing you where I go in and I'm adding values for those listings that I have, and not making anything up. Don't put something in there that you're not sure of. But once you have a confirmed value for that, you're putting that information in. Now, I think a lot of people have it mixed up. Item specifics is a filtered, say people use best match search, okay? Red shirt, okay? It comes up with 5,000 listings. I don't know, probably more than that. So I'm looking for a certain kind of red shirt, okay? I forgot the brand name, or I'm, not quite sure. I'm a buyer. I don't know how all the attributes, I don't know what kind of collar or all that stuff. I just know I need a certain type of red shirt, and I'm hopeful to find it here in this sea of 5,000 listings. So you have the filter along the left side if you're on the computer, and the filter that's in the app that comes up says filter. And you go and you check the boxes for the different ones that are important to you, okay? So like if you just type in shirt, then you go to color, put red, right? And it gives you all the red shirts. And then you put the next attribute in. Maybe it could be shirt type, maybe you select polo, right? And then it shows you all the red polo shirts. So you're filtering down. You're actually kind of, you're paring down the results of this 5,000 item search into an acceptable amount of listings that you can scroll through to find your item. That's what item specifics are, okay? It's not to replace your keywords. And I think there's a lot of people that are confused by that. Now, did eBay change that to where you're adding item specifics into your listings and all of a sudden AI is picking that up in considering that into the buyer's search terms? Quite possibly. I don't know because it's such a new change. But the way item specifics has always been set up is to sort of pare down by using that filter to find what specifically you're looking for. And if you're making items, if you're going in and typing in some random name for a shirt and it's not in that list, it's not going to come up for a buyer when they're filtering it out. Like if you say, I want a yellow shirt, and instead you put in your item specifics, you make up a value called chartreuse, which is a way to call yellow, by the way. That's a yellow color.
Is that chartreuse?
Chartreuse is a yellow color. And so I'm trying to say, because the tag says chartreuse, I'm going to put chartreuse, and eBay doesn't offer that color, and someone goes in and tries to find yellow. Well, your chartreuse shirt, and I shouldn't have used that word because I'm screwing it up now, is not going to show up in the search. And that's kind of how item specifics was designed to work. And again, if they've changed that recently over the last few months, I'm not aware of it, but I'm going to do a little deep dive and try to figure it out. So that's kind of what I do here. I don't have all the answers. I can't say that I'm going to get it right 100% of the time, but at least with what I try to do, I try to not only do the experiments, I try to show it to you as I'm doing it sometimes too. So, but get into your listings, whatever it is. Maybe your title's screwed up, maybe your photos are screwed up, maybe things, and I've been preaching this the whole time, but I really think that's a big problem and it needs to be stressed, especially with all the changes that are going on, because a lot of your listings were created before these changes were put into place. So I don't know why Jenna's laughing at me, but
no, I'm not laughing at you. No One Design said, just keep it simple and call a banana for yellow.
Yeah, banana. But the banana could be green, not ripe yet. So let's not go there. Let's see who we have. We got Mike Caparelli. It says, hi all, poor sales this week. Only 3 this weekend and not much better during the week. I've learned that listing like crazy is not the answer. And before it was, in fact, for some, it was a numbers game. If you didn't have the higher demand stuff, one way to make it work, one business model that worked for a lot of people was, well, you know what? I'm just going to list. So if I have a 1 in 200 sale ratio, meaning that if I have 200 items in my store, I sell 1 a day, it becomes a numbers game. I just need to build that number up and I can get, 100 sales in a day if I get enough listings in my store. And that worked for people, but it's not the way it works anymore. And you got to maybe in some cases go through and be honest with yourself. Maybe it's time to just get rid of these listings. Just start paring your store down. Mike also says, for every new listing I have put up, I'm fixing or deleting 3 others. Let's see what happens. So that's good. And Terapeak's your friend. If we're looking at the last 90 days, okay, let's say I have jackets and I'm looking at just the last 90 days and I'm looking to see sold comps. You may not find many. You'll find some, but maybe this specific brand or this specific model, you ain't finding any. Well, not too many people were buying over the summer for jackets. So maybe you look at Terapeak and try to see if that comes up over the last year or two. Yeah, it goes back 2 years. And then you can say, okay, there are previous solds and it's worth keeping in my store. And, that way you're not getting rid of needless items. I think a lot of people, they sell things that are seasonal and you just really have to keep that in mind. You have bathing suits that are sitting there. I mean, bathing suits and things like that, they sell year round because, where it's winter, some places it's summer, but it's just don't have high expectations in the U.S. for, swimwear in the winter months. It's just not going to work. And you may want to just take them off for a while because any bad item that is in your store is going to hold back the rest of your listings in some way, shape, or form on a small level. And I think anything you can do to increase, whether it's improve one thing, maybe add free returns if you can stomach it, change different things to make your items look favorable within the algorithm. And it's not one over the other. It's a combined thing. You got like 20 different things, between account health, your listing quality, promoted listings, all kinds of different things you can do. And if you're working on each of one of those and to make a complete listing, right, versus I'm just going to work on my price and my title and I'm not going to promote, I'm not going to do any of these things, well, that's not going to have as good of an impact. So that's kind of what you need to be looking at. Sandra says, hello, FAE, selling but slow. Weird also, I sold stuff that had been posted over 1 year ago, only a few new items.
Yeah, none of my new items sold. So it all started off on Friday when Mike went on and generously bought one of my baseball cases. Well, it then followed up with another baseball case. And then things that have been sitting in there for years are now selling.
But I have to say that I've added a few new listings on that store. Before I went out, I had listed like a handful of things.
Yeah, I saw.
And we hadn't had a whole lot of activity on there. So it's like, that store is a perfect example because most of my focus is on the main store.
Easy.
Well, that too, but it's a perfect example of how
so serious today.
I'm not feeling well, but I'm powering through it, guys. Really, I feel like I got hit by a truck. But if we are looking at how I handle my stores, most of my energy is in my main store, and which makes sense. If I'm making $400 to $500 a day in sales, and my other store is only making like 50 to 100, if on a good day.
That's on a good day.
Why would you spend more time on the lower performing store if I only have so much time in a day? So I decided to drop a few new listings on that other store, some of the shoes we picked up along our trip in Kentucky. And that activity seemed to kind of give it a little boost. Okay. And so I'm a big, big proponent, whether you guys want to agree with me or not. We all have our opinions, but so many times I talk to someone like Archie, or I see it myself, and Jenna gets in a day or two where she starts listing. Then you see days after that where sales were great, but the moment you take a couple days off, it just falls off, no matter how good your listings seem to be. I just think that a lot of it is being consistent too. Lenny K says sales are down by 20%, only did 2,200 this week. Now, some people would kill for your 2,200, but that's still, I'm at 2,800. So it's all perspective, right?
But I get where you're saying, you're probably way up above that normally.
Yeah. Yeah. It's funny how that is, for some, it's like, wow, you're having a great year. And that's why it's kind of hard to gauge when someone says, I'm killing it this month. For them, killing it this month, that they made $500 this week. Mm-hmm. And for others, they're having a bad month and they made, $8,000. So it's all perspective. And that's why you can't really compare one person's comment or situation to yours, because it's almost always going to be different. Baubles, Blings, and Needful Things says, howdy, all fine FAE peeps. Thanks for being here. And glad to see. Okay, that's a sidebar combo. Joe Samard says, hello. Thanks for being here, Joe. And we have Jerry Johnson says, hi, FAE family, shipping out 2 orders. Now, I don't know if FedEx is coming today.
The doorbell just rang.
Wow.
Are you going to go get it?
Just go and tell them there's nothing here. Jeez. It's not like I got to lift anything for you. There's nothing here. We have 14 orders that eBay is not. Remember, guys, if you are in the United States, you do not have to mail out today. And I guess I could have. I'm being charged $4 for the pickup. But given the circumstances, I ain't in the mood to do any shipping today. I really feel bad. So we're going to work on this tonight, and then the residual tomorrow. 14 items that we're shipping out, and they're mostly FedEx I'm looking at right now. So that's kind of weird how I said that I wonder if FedEx is coming and they just ring the doorbell. It's pretty funny. Silver Hair Stacker Larry Todd says, hi, everyone. Can't stay, but figure out for me how to get rich off eBay. Well, Larry Todd, I think you're doing just fine. Every time I see you, you come into the show, you hit the like button, and you're getting like boom sales left and right. So I think you're going to be just fine. And we have Kevin Hawthorne says, good evening from Lakeland, Florida. Thanks for being here, Kevin. Ping G's with us. Hello, John, Jen and John, and the chat. Flipping Goods with us. And we have Jacqueline B, Rhiannon, and then I hope we resolved that echo issue, but I think we did. Andy Reno says, Indiana in the house. What's going on, FAE family? We have Gail's in the house. Hello, John and Jenna. Greetings from Nebraska. Nebraska. Isn't Nebraska?
Gail, are you getting any weird weather?
Yeah, I thought there's some weather going on.
Yeah.
Noah Design said the echo is gone because the ball cases are gone. I do need, and so here's the plan. I'm also going to make a video about this. Those of you guys who kind of know what my garage kind of looks like, the one, those of you who watch the channel as often as you do, it's kind of changing a little bit. I'm getting more storage space in there. We've taken our shipping station out, and it's in the other room now. We've got a rack with the boxes are out of there. We've got a little photo booth. I don't know how that's going to work because this is a really small table.
It's just going to be for super small items, shoes, little things. It's not a big shipping area. Yeah. It's just for, maybe it's for some god awful reason we get, 20-degree weather and it's freezing outside.
Or hot weather.
Well, or hot weather, but we usually can push through that anyway. And there's an air conditioner. But for all of the super big stuff, it's still going to have to go outside and be, done. It cannot be brought in the house.
I don't know about you, but I'd rather go out in the garage when it's 32 degrees than go out in the garage when it's 120.
No, I agree with you.
And I can just bundle up if I have to.
Well,
it's
right.
Fine. But I remember when we were at the other house, we had one in the house and we had one outside. Mm-hmm. And we made the one in the house work until we had larger items. Of course, I didn't really get into larger items.
Yeah, we weren't shipping. Yeah. We weren't doing large items back then.
Yeah.
So
I think this setup's going to work pretty well. And I have to move. She wanted me to go after the live stream. She wanted me to pull down the bubble rack dispenser that's mounted on the wall and put it up in here. And I'm like, you know what? I'll do it this week. I'm not feeling that today. But
can you do something?
Got to put the TV up on the wall because she's got to have her TV.
Mr. Gallivanting all. Lost the.
Can you hear me? Yep. Okay. Looks like we're back. Sorry about that, guys. Oh. Go figure. I have no idea. I'm going to say it again. We have great internet. I don't know why it does this. It only seems to do it when we're on a live. So it's just one of those things where I got a lot of things got to move over and it's not quite there yet. I'm going to get some more racks and that's going to give me at least 2 to 3 more racks of storage space. So by having this room freed up, it's going to allow us to expand our business a little bit, and we're not going to be so jumble-effed all over the place, for lack of a better term. Let's see. Jessica says, UK inflation is really affecting people's buying power in the UK. 20 sales last month was good. And I think no matter how you feel on the side of the economy subject, you can't deny inflation is a problem. I mean, if you go out and buy gas, gas is like $1 more a gallon than it was, say, a year and a half ago. That's less money that someone has to spend on anything, let alone your item. Okay. So for some, that is no big deal. Some people are like, I got money. I got a friend. He's a millionaire. The guy buys whatever the hell he wants and he's not affected by gas. He's got like a whole room dedicated to Star. It looks like you stepped in the Death Star when you walk into this room. He has a Marvel room. He gets whatever he wants. He buys, and the price of anything
he goes wherever he wants, when he wants,
right,
how he wants.
Like two trips a month. 2 trips a year to like Europe and all. I wish stuff.
We were better friends.
Well,
I'd like to go on a few trips.
It ain't about that. But it's just an example of how you're going to get people that are, say, upper middle class or richer than that are going to continue to buy, the collectibles, the antiques, the things that are more wants than need, which kind of blows out my argument out of the water that, well, because those things are selling, that, it's not the economy. But
groceries are out of control too.
But it is the economy. Just one factor.
It is. I know.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't go to the store and spend less than $100 for a week of. I mean, you may be able to, but when you actually cook and make meals and you need all the ingredients, honestly, you can't go to the store for cheap anymore. It's just not feasible.
Well, and I want to know what you guys think. It's going to get better before it gets, we're going to get worse before it gets better. It's going to get better from here. Are we at the peak of, this rundown? I think it's a rundown economy, this with everything going on. Is it going to get worse? I mean, I hate to be, people like to think that I'm just negative all the time. I'm just being real. I mean, if me being real is negative, then, I'm sorry. But who am I? I was telling you guys this almost 2 years ago, that the economy isn't looking good, guys. The trends, the things that I was reading at the time, it's time to start to transform into what you're selling, need over want. I was saying that like Q4 back in 2021, and people were giving me crap in the comments. And I think I'm more right than I was wrong. And I'm not trying to say, I'm at Nostradamus or anything like that, but sometimes you gotta like really start putting your finger up into the wind and seeing, which way it's blowing.
Well, you gotta look out for not just your own little bubble. Sometimes you gotta step outside the bubble and see what's going on in the world and be aware. It doesn't mean you need to involve yourself or be political or be any of that. Just be aware of what's going on around you.
Yeah, and it took us a full year after saying that to really find something to gravitate to that met that analysis. Like, okay, need over want, but how the hell do I find need over want? Okay, go to a yard sale, you're going to see a lot more wants than needs, and so you have to figure it out. And that's the homework assignment that each of you have, and it's going to be a different answer. So it's not like I can tell. I guess I could ruin my source and tell you, here, go here and get all this stuff, but it's not going to be the answer for everyone, even if I did that. You guys have to go in, do your homework, and that's the hardest part of this game, figuring that out. Once you figure that out, then you got to go in and put your plan into place. So my homework assignment for you is to try to find that source that's going to make the change.
Find the sources locally. I mean, get out into your community. Other than yard sales and garage sales and estate sales, look out and see what's in your city. I mean, even if it may be worth a drive once a week to go pick up goods.
Meet people. I could right now go and buy out a garage. You guys know this garage. It was a garage I could have bought out a year ago. I saw for myself, this garage has tubs of vintage toys. We're talking vintage Barbies, vintage ceramic dolls, and they're all really packed away great. I mean, it's just the other mess around all these totes that adds to the chaos in this garage. But that's not my thing. It doesn't sort of fit my model. If things were better economic wise, I would have already bought that garage. But I knew back in October that what I was selling currently, even those shoes were kind of hit and miss, and I didn't want to get bogged down with no space, tying up all the little space that I had with stuff that's kind of questionable. But here's the thing, guys. You watch a lot of these channels and they get so focused in on what they're doing. Oh, sales suck for me. That means eBay's dead or eBay's broken 100% because what's been selling for me for all these years isn't selling, so it must be broken for everyone. But that's not the case. Ask No One Design. Ask Tommy Bernard, if I don't even know if he's here. But ask the people that continue to do well despite these downturns. And, they're telling you they're still making sales. But yet I'm getting comments and emails from people that are just having the hardest time. And You got to look at things from just much more than your lens.
Yeah, and some people are not going to have the same. We could sit here and talk about need versus want all day long, but there are going to be people that are going to be buying what we think is a want, but for them it's a need. So you may have a store that is, in our eyes, a bunch of, oh, I want this, I want that, but in their eyes, they're trying to add to a collection. Those are needs to them. And so needs and wants for everybody's store are going to be different.
Right.
And I'm not saying that, toilet seats and handicap accessible accessories are the only thing that is going to be selling.
No.
I mean, everybody's store and everybody's business model is going to be different, and that's okay. We're not talking about those who are not killing it. If you see that eBay is doing whatever it's doing, it doesn't matter if they're having problems, if the algorithm is so messed up, is so messed up that you want to constantly blame eBay. It's not all eBay. That's just the point. The point is, it's going to be a combination of, you need to make changes. You need to pivot your business to fit the new algorithm. I can't speak. Algorithm.
You guys notice this? Go back like last year, she would hardly say 2 words on this podcast. Now she's
1, 2.
Jerry Johnson says, I received an email today that I received all 3 eBay swag gifts plus a $25 eBay gift certificate for participating in the daily eBay open survey. Doesn't take much to make my day.
Very nice.
So good on eBay for doing that. Kudos for them. I just wish that translated over to, just your everyday seller. Yeah. I don't need a gift card. Just make me feel like, you care in some way, shape, or form.
Communication is all I want. That's all I want.
Yeah.
I don't care about any, I don't want a tumbler. I don't want a pen. I want consistent communication all the time. Yeah. But I'm super happy that you got those things from eBay, because it makes you feel good. It feels like they see you.
So we got Devon's in the house. Thanks for being here. Kate Picker and David Pentland says, hey, folks in Scotland. Scotland. I think I got the access right. Jovial Juggler says, hey, FAE fam. Happy National Moldy Cheese Day.
It's
John's
favorite.
You're going to have either some wings with some blue cheese or some blue cheese on my salad. Sounds good to me.
Nope.
Devon says she's up 29% right now.
She said for now.
Yeah. And then Bobbles Blings and Needful Things says, best month I've ever had was 9K 18 years ago. Now I kill for 2K. Right. But doesn't that, now I don't know, I didn't ask you when we saw you in Cincinnati, have you changed what you've sold since you're talking 18 years ago? Or are you selling the same kind of thing? If you're selling the same kind of thing that you were selling, 15, 20 years ago, that right there kind of illustrates the point that I've been trying to make, that, what was selling well, back in 2005 ain't going to be what's selling well in 2023. It just, times change, circumstances change. David says, I thought you were all overreacting with the sales drops, and then Friday my lights went out. It's sometimes you see channels that are like, oh man, if I would have made a video for every zero or under $100 day, I'd probably have a dozen videos.
Yeah, you guys would be like, oh my God, you guys are such a black cloud.
Yeah, or you freak out, and then here's your $1,000 day. So it's about, and I think No One Design said this, is about the long haul. So if you're viewing your sales in a short-sighted lens, it's like a 1 or 2 days, and you get worried about that, and you fail to see what you're doing for the year. If your 1 to 2 months starts getting kind of really wacky and weird, then you need to start worrying, and not worrying to the point. I mean, you don't worry about things you can't control, but take control take control of what you're doing, because obviously what you're doing is not working.
Put yourself in a better position for success.
Biff says eBay put the press release out about the algorithm change in May, and that was the white papers, I believe, that Josh had shared with his channel. And it's not easy to read, guys. It's one where you'd have ChatGPT give you a breakdown, and that kind of works pretty well, but it's still to the layman person that, you know, is just trying to sell stuff and they don't have a lot of technical knowledge. They're, you know, that's kind of goes over their head. Now, what does that mean to me? How do I translate that into my business? But, you know, and did that mean that press release they put out in May, did that mean that's what happened in April? Or does that mean that this is what we're working on over the summer? So, you know, not a whole lot that gave us specifics as to what we were seeing. And that's, you know, all we can do is guess at that point when we're dealing with different problems with eBays and glitches and stuff like that. LSGS Rob says sellers are putting far too much focus with these eBay issues and not enough into their own business, aka taking accountability. eBay's issues isn't 100% of the reason for slow sales, but it's an easy out for those who instead of could be looking in the mirror to say, okay, what do I need to do to take control here? It's an easy out to say, it's a comfortable way. We're talking about last week about being uncomfortable. It's a comfortable way of, you know,
putting the blame on someone else.
So it's like, it makes you feel better, right? So it makes you feel better. You're not beating yourself up. Oh, it's eBay. And now I can focus my anger on eBay. Yeah, I was talking about eBay problems because it was an annoyance. Having to deal with glitch after glitch after glitch, you know, having problems on the site, just from the seller perspective, and then you hear about buyers not being able to check out. That's annoying. You want to make sales. You want to have
that thing that has all come back up. Sorry.
Well, that has come back up for some people, yeah. Right? But it's what I'm saying is all this while you're getting mad at eBay when you could have taken steps to change things within your own business. And one of these things is what we're trying to talk about right now. Many of those people were just listing, and they weren't doing hardly anything with their old stuff sitting in their store for months upon end. Even though channels like this and other channels have been saying, you guys got to be doing different things. You guys got to maintain your old stock. Maybe your title is trash. Maybe it looks fine to you, but maybe no buyer would type that in to look for your item, and that's why it hasn't sold. So just got to get in there and really take a deep dive and look at your store. And you know, like I've offered every single one of you watching, and I've never passed up on anyone doing this. It never hurts to have a second pair of eyes. I'm glad to look at your store and just to give you an overall. But I think only 2 people have ever thanked me out of the dozens that I've done. I've never heard from those people again. It's like they don't even say thank you. They just disappear. It's like, well,
nobody likes to hear, you know, that, you could do better here or you could do better there. Yeah. Nobody, it's hard to face the truth sometimes. Yeah. Believe me, I don't like it.
So eBay went to when they created this algorithm, and I think for many that's right, but that change kind of is telling you eBay is going to continue down this path. They're not going back, guys. Yeah. They're not going back to what you're used to. So it's time for you to do something different, and that's the part that frustrates a lot of people. Thomas says, keep changing eBay. Me love you long time. But I'm sure, and Tommy doesn't talk about this a lot, but I'm sure that in some way, shape, or form, he's made some tweaks along the way, even throughout all this. And it's probably that because his listings were already solid. And, you know, I think eBay has, you know, we talk about how eBay has changed, but what hasn't changed, the basics haven't changed. Good title, good photo, good price. Of course, they added those item specifics in there, right? A lot of confusion over, well, do I need to just put required? Do I need to add recommended? No, you do need required, but there's really no discussion about recommended. Come to find out, your recommended is really what's driving these searches when they're paring down your listings, when they're trying to find that red shirt. And I'm sure Tommy, if I had to look at his listings, I'm sure he's doing a lot of the same things now that he did a year ago. And the tweaks aren't as severe as, say, someone else might have to make. And for him, he might see a small decline in sales, but it's probably not an eBay thing. It's probably more along the lines of economy based or something like that. I'm not trying to compare Tommy to everyone else, but I'm trying to say that his situation is different than someone else who only puts in a little bit of time to make just a generic, let's make a fast listing, real quick title, real one photo. Let's just throw the highest price comp they can find, right? And no sales, no coupons, nothing to help drive the sale. And then they wonder why they're not making sales, but Tommy is talking about making great sales all year long. David says, I had 0 sales for 3 days since Friday after 150 pounds in daily sales. Then boom, no Haggies for dinner. Well, if it makes you feel better, David, I haven't had Haggies in 49 years. So
what is that?
I have no idea.
Oh.
And you see, I'm not upset about it. Biff Boffo says it's possible the AI needs time to learn, and there's nothing you can do within the platform. But wait. You can cross-list to move outside the platform, or you can make a change into maybe what you're selling. If you've tried everything you can do, you have the stock that you have. I know a lot of people want to go and have a yard sale and blow out all their stock. I know people don't want to, feel like they have to start over again. That's the last thing a lot of people would do. People would probably quit before they did that. But have you exhausted everything you can do with the current stock that you have? Okay, and there's many, 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 many things that you can do. If you go and look at your competition and they're making sales, this is the biggest mistake, I think. Why aren't you looking at that information?
Yeah.
People
What is it in their listing that is different from yours?
Right.
Is your price too high? Are your pictures trash? Are your title? The first 5 words, guys, I'm telling you, if you're not putting in what a potential buyer might put in, then you're losing the game.
But to me, it's common sense. Why, if you see someone having success with the same kind of items that you have, well, why wouldn't you try to emulate what they're doing? Find out. You can go into those listings, find out. Now, eBay's making it tougher to look at an older listing there. You click on an old listing, right? You want to kind of go dive into the listing to see what they said in their item description or their item specifics. What eBay's doing lately is they're saying, oh, this one's sold, but here's another one that's up for sale that you might like, right? Yeah. So it really makes it harder for sellers to do that kind of diving in and really seeing what your competition's doing. But there's ways you can see how their photos look. Are they using a clear background? Are they just using, emulate, guys. Copy what works if your situation isn't working. And it's possible you don't have to make any changes to what you're selling. For some of you, maybe it's just the way you're doing it the algorithm doesn't like. Randall says, any advice on how to get procrastinating buyers to pay in a timely manner?
No,
none. Here's the deal. You can stop making offers, which I don't advocate for. Because anytime you can interact with a customer in any business, the better chance you're going to convert a sale. But if you are to the point where I just don't want to deal with it anymore, then stop sending offers. Of course, now like 99% of the time, I receive an offer, best offer, you're getting paid within 12 hours. It may not be right away, but unless they have a credit card problem, didn't have enough on their card or whatever, you're going to receive that money. And of course, make sure you have immediate payment set on your listings, and that will require them to pay for it before it's removed from your store. Andy says, on the lighter side, down 36 degrees night here, furnace is on.
Wow, I would love that.
I love to bundle up. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm ready for it.
Yeah, Ernie says, sales every day on both my stores for 2 weeks straight. Just been more active with my customers. And there's a lot of folks out there who think that this is a business where, because they're dealing with a computer, they do not want to deal with people at all. They don't want to deal with messages. They don't want to deal with this, that, and the other thing. But the better you interact with your customer, the faster you interact with your customer, I don't care what you're selling, you're going to have better success.
Just FYI, I will never eat a Haggie.
What is it? Sounds like a mean old lady. Sounds like a mean old lady. What is that? A potato with meat in it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
It's pudding composed of the liver, heart, and lungs of a sheep, minced and mixed with beef or mutton, not sweat, and oatmeal and seasoned with onion, cayenne pepper, and other spices. Packed into the sheep's stomach and boiled. Can't wait to get some of that.
No, you go ahead and enjoy that. I know it's when you grow up eating something, you don't know any different, and so that is not something that we eat.
That's what I was presented with. Fat boy here would get skinny real quick. Real quick. That's my diet plan. Just Haggies all day long. Jerry Johnson says, got an email today from eBay that I won
you
all.
You already got that one.
Yeah, but she sent it earlier. I swear to you. I'm scrolling down. Mad Hatter's Boutique said, hey, FA fam, hope everyone is getting this sale. I jumped on Grailed last week with my high-end apparel. Sold 2 hats for $120 each. First day. Great site for exotic brands if you have everything or have anything. And that's,
very nice.
I think, the benefit of some of these sites like Grailed or Poshmark. It's going to command a little bit more than what you're able to get on eBay. Just a different type of buyer. Are you right?
I just got the chills just for thinking about
the heebie-jeebies over
here.
here.
I got the heebie-jeebies.
Christine Moses says, in order to reduce my misanthropy, I have started calling all eBay glitches challenges new features. No, they're temporary features.
Yeah, that's a
the
good
curator
name.
of Thrift says, flipping ain't easy. Yes, chartreuse is a bright yellow color often used in fishing lures. Yes, that's how I know that. I used to fish a lot. Tommy says, item specifics 100% are part of best match search. Always have been. Yes. And I think that with this change, I think some people are coming out saying that your item specifics are now just as important as your title when it comes to the initial best match search results. But item specifics has been and always has been designed to where you can pare down, again, you can go Tommy Bahama shirt. You're going to get thousands of results. So now it's like, do I want to search through 1,000 items? Most buyers don't have time for that. So they have this filter. So you can go, I want to go red or I want to go yellow, that type of thing. And then now you're, looking at the different options and you're getting down to maybe 50 results. That's more manageable to search through. That's the whole purpose of item specifics, was to help weed out that sea of listings when your buyer. Because how many people think that buyers are really thorough? They're not. I mean, I bet, just like there's sellers that'll put CD, like they'll put Iron Maiden CD, and that's it. Okay. How many buyers are like that? Shirt. They'll just go, I need a shirt, solid shirt. They're not putting their size. They're not putting the color. And, these are designed to kind of help these special buyers that we have that can't type more than a couple.
Very special.
No One Design says, just keep it simple and call it banana. Patricia says, eBay Tech blog indicates title words, keywords, and photos and item specifics are each weighted and not necessarily equally. You're right. Not necessarily equally. However, based on videos I've watched that eBay has put out, I think one was from the UK and actually from Australia. And, eBay in Australia, eBay UK, eBay US are all sort of based on the same concept anyway, that your title really is the more important of those three. Talking about keywords, photos, item specifics. Now, item specifics are being weighted, I think, a little bit more with this change, that if you don't have your item specifics filled out, if you're one of those sellers that have 100 hats and you just put multicolor, you're going to be hurt more now than you were a year ago. Lori says, did you watch Rachel Strickland's great video recommending item specifics? My listings are now only have required and additional specifics none have recommended, as Rachel talked about. No, I'd have to look at that. Is that the name of her channel, Rachel Strickland? But yeah, I'm just a firm believer that if eBay's asking you to do so, or if they're giving you a hint, okay, eBay is a puzzle. So you're looking at the lister and you see something that you haven't noticed before. Wow, this says trending. What does that mean? Well, in my mind, that means that people are using that more than the one that's blank. So why would you not have a value for that? Now, I'll give you a little hint here. There's two ways to find information. I got this item. I don't know crap about it. What do I put there? okay? Because you don't want to have the wrong value. There's one of two things you can do. I like to, if it's more of an item that was bought in the last year or two, like retail, go onto Amazon, okay, and search for that item. And within Amazon, there's like a more popular item, you'll have people that left reviews. And also some of them have Q&A, like they've asked questions and hopefully someone can answer it. So within those, you can search. So like a keyword, like, I don't know, I was just doing it the other day. Like, I think I was looking for like the size of this thing. I did, just trying to figure it out. And I typed that in and someone had asked that question and the manufacturer or someone else left the answer. So boom, I got the answer to that item specific. The other way you can do it, if it's an older item, maybe you can't find on Amazon, ChatGPT, there's others out there where you can go in and say, because like for instance, ChatGPT has access to the internet database from 2021, September, 2 years ago. So if it's older than that, 2 years old, you can go in there and ask ChatGPT, can you look up this model number and tell me these item specifics or the specs for this item, right? Or can you tell me whatever value you're looking for in your item specifics for this item? And it should be able to give you the answer. Then you just go and fill that out. So there's ways to find it out. And I think there's a number of you that are not tech savvy it would be in your best interest to start getting familiar with ChatGPT and start getting familiar with sites like Amazon where customers post and you can search for that word in their reviews so you can see what they say and help you answer that question.
Didn't Bearded Picker say there was another site instead of ChatGPT? He said he used something else and it's better because it's coming from Google and it has more current, up-to-date information.
There is. I have this.
I can't remember the name of it.
I have this this extension.
Beard, are you here?
He is probably not.
He was earlier.
Was he?
Yeah.
AIPRM for ChatGPT is an extension, and it opens up so many things. I'm not saying that it's really anything particularly useful for eBay, but you can probably.
He said Bard.
Okay, Bard.
Thank you.
Bard. So Scott's probably just working, and he's not in the chat, which I do all the time too. So.
He's in the chat.
No. But I mean, a lot of times these live streams are really useful for like, you know what? I just want to listen to eBay talk while I'm, busting butt in the garage or wherever I'm doing. David says, I was at a raffle last week and they were shouting out mauve colored tickets is purple. So I know what you mean, or lavender or whatever. Right. Spencer says, greetings all from the Silicon Valley. I was just there yesterday. I kept calling it Silicon Valley.
I think somebody asked later on in the picture. God, I cannot speak. I'm just as fried as everyone as he is. No, we are not from San Francisco. Never in my life would I ever live in that
so expensive
area.
I drove by the Google Cloud building.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I was like, oh, there's the Google Cloud.
Oh, you should have stopped and taken a tour.
Okay.
Anyway, no, we're in Las Vegas, Nevada. That's where we are.
Yeah, I had an opportunity. A friend of mine who gets tickets, he's in the trucking industry, and his clients send him free sporting events tickets. I mean, I went to the Kentucky Derby with this guy back in 2017. All free, everything paid for. So these tickets are like $1,500, $2,000 tickets for the Niners game last night. And it's like, you want to go? And I'm like, I had a flight credit. I'm like, yeah, I guess I could make it work. I could fly out and meet you there. And it worked out. He was out there waiting for me at the airport. We all drove in to the game, tailgated, went to the game, drove to LA right afterwards, and I got on my flight 2 hours after they dropped me off. It worked out. So,
and then I picked him up at the airport.
How many people?
How many wives would allow this to happen?
How many people would pass this up? How many people, if you had an opportunity, and that's assuming you like football. I mean, just think of the thing you like. How many people would pass up like a big event for that if it was like a friend of yours called you out of the blue and said, hey, you want to go?
Yeah, you can't pass things like that up because you know what? You only live once. And if you are a wife that says, no, you can't do that, then what kind of life are you setting up for your relationship?
Well, because you're a good wife.
Yes,
I had another wife that was horrible. It was very, very jealous of me going places.
Well,
So
she can go for it.
yeah, I know. But that's another story for another day. Ashley says chartreuse is actually a shade of green usually. Sure, there are exceptions. Yep. I
It's
think
like
it's like
a yellowy, like a bright, hot.
it's what
yellow,
Nike
like-
calls maybe something like this is more
That's
greenish,
more green.
but it's like what Nike calls that Volt color. They used to call Volt in their shoes.
It's like the original Gatorade color. Somebody says it in the chat.
Mike says hello. Had 2,700 sales during the week. Another bad Saturday, Sunday for me. Only a little over 200. Showed high traffic, but no one buying. Something isn't right. I mean, I can tell you, in my opinion, I think traffic has been broken since they made the changes to the traffic reports back in the summer. I can't trust it because if you're telling me that on a day where I've taken my entire store, ended every item, and I did a sell similar on every item in the store, and somehow I had more external views than I had the entire month that day, when it does take a little time for it to catalog within external sites like Google, I had no sales, virtually no sales that day, but yet I had the highest traffic day to my listings. That didn't make any sense to me. Something's not right. Something's not right. And you know, I can't, I want to trust it. I want to be able to say, because eBay provides us with one thing. They don't provide us with sales. They provide us with traffic. Okay. And if the reports, you can't trust them, at least I can't, then how are you going to gauge, you know, what's really going on? And that's, I don't know. If I had one question to ask eBay, I'd ask them, what's up with your traffic reports? Are they accurate or are they not? Bobbles says, I spent 2 hours tweaking those bloody specifics, price and titles, haven't seen any movement from it. Aggravating, feeling like you're beating the crap out of a dead horse. So now let me ask you, you've done all those changes, but before you did those changes, can you verify that that item or similar items have been selling within the last 90 days? If it hasn't been selling within the last 90 days, you're doing a lot of work for maybe nothing. I mean, you might be doing everything you're supposed to do with those items, but if there hasn't, your competition hasn't sold them, maybe that's just an item that isn't going to sell no matter what you do.
Or it's going to be that unicorn buyer.
Guy Guru says, hey guys, terrible weekend. First time I've ever had 0 sales 2 days in a row, then 5 today. WTF.
Yeah. There's a lot of WTFs going on throughout the day, every day for a long while now.
I knew that I wasn't going to have a good sales day yesterday because I was out. I wasn't on my PC. I was out and about with my phone. I was answering emails and I was sending offers the whole time. I knew I was going to have a good day. Just the way it works for me. I don't know why, just the way it is. Devon says, I was listing a Coach bag and went under sale one like this, and it was the jacket category. I changed it. There's sometimes you will piggyback off of a listing. Maybe it's sold somehow and it's in the wrong category.
Yes.
And then
that's happened to me quite a few times where I've listed shoes and they were in like the men's jackets. Like, no wonder their stuff isn't selling because they're not paying attention. You have to pay attention to what you're, you know, there's been many times when we will piggyback off of a listing and it says the wrong color in the title or the wrong size. You know, there's been a couple of times where that's happened where, you know, I come in and tell him, hey, you piggybacked off of a listing that says it's a blue jacket, but ours is red, you know, but somehow it's sold, you know.
I mean, that doesn't mean that people won't see the photo and say, well, I don't know how this ended up in my search, but I like that, you know?
Yeah.
Karen says, hi, John and Jen. Thanks for being here.
North
And then we have Fisher Flip says, good evening all. So hard to get to your lives. How was the game? I could tell you this. You know, if you guys watch sports on TV, the best seat in the house is, I mean, we had field seats, like kind of catty corner of the end zone. The best seats in the house are still your TV in your living room. But you cannot replicate, that's the truth. But you cannot replicate that feeling of 70,000 people just going nuts. Okay. That roar of the crowd, I think we had some F-22s that did the flyover.
You said 35s.
35s, 40s. I don't know. It was a fast jet. And
I was watching it on TV.
that roar of the jet that went overhead, it was like, wow. It was like a moment, right? So it's those moments you can't replicate.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of what makes the
No,
experience.
I agree that watching it from TV, you get definitely the better angles.
Yeah.
But however, if you're watching it on some kind of service like Peacock or whatever other service you might be using, the commercials are horrendous.
Let me show you guys something here. Look at the cost of beer. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, Everlast came up. I don't know if you can see that.
$21
for a 25-ounce premium canned beer or a 25-ounce Bud Light or a 25-ounce domestic can. $21, guys.
Good thing you don't drink.
So that's a big downfall. You spend a lot of money at those events, but of course I don't drink, so that's a good thing. Baubles, Blings, and Needful Things. Is anyone else finding their prices and drafts getting mysteriously changed from what they had put in? I haven't seen that, but what I noticed is if you're piggybacking off of a listing like Sell Similar and you're creating a listing, there's weird dimensions and weird weights that are like preloaded in for you. So you got to be very careful. Like it'll say, it's like 12.5 by 10 by 3, right? And it's like, that's not what this is. It's just really weird. I've seen that. Guy Dura says, what is weird is the 5 sales I had today and didn't even throw me an offer.
Who's calling?
Just unknown caller. What is weird is the 5 sales I had today and didn't even throw me an offer, and I have them on. I think offers is indeed messed up.
I think so too, because normally I at least send out an minimum 2 to 3 offers a day, and I have gotten no watchers at all.
Right.
This is going on since we were in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
I've had no offers to send.
I've had some decent activity on the other accounts, so I don't know.
Yeah.
One thing you guys got to have to realize is that things seem to be different from category to category. I mean, if you just look at how item specifics are set up, some categories are much different than others, and that could be part of it as well. Karen says, lately I checked comps using Terapeak and look at 10-1 through 12-31 last year to see the sell-through rate for Q4. Mm-hmm. But you may find that we may not be having as good of a Q4 that we had last year. I mean, across the board. Patricia says, we should all tweak Goldman Sachs and tell them that there's any other stock analysis about the disaster eBay has created with the new machine learning algorithm. I'm sure they see things like that. I'm sure they know, but what are they going to believe? eBay says, well, we made money despite the sales have fallen off, the number of transactions that have sold because we've lost buyers. We've made money because of and now they don't explain how, but we've made money despite that. And it's because of the higher prices that sellers are paying for their listings. And no, I did not turn into a Niners fan. I actually had, I have a bet with my son. We actually have a bunch of like game. We put like a couple bucks in, to do like a parlay. And I had the Niners -3.5, and they absolutely destroyed the Cowboys. So, of course, I'm a fan of that. I'm a fan of the green team. That's money. So, want to win. Let's see. Devon says, I have a nice eBay is going for high API. Fisher Flip says, have you all noticed the suggested promoted rates are hovering around 20? They're going up, guys. And some people are just using that dynamic, which means that whatever eBay asks, you're taking. And I guess it's okay if you have enough room. It's about just churning the item. But for me, it's like I see where it's going. Yeah. It's going to keep going. There's a reason why eBay has 100% as an option. I mean, no one in the right mind would do that. Yeah. But at some point, I mean, we're going to be seeing rates up close to 30%. When does it end? It only ends when people stop. Okay. If people make that line and say, okay, look, I'm not crossing 15%. I'm not crossing 10. That's my line. Okay. Yeah. And I think some of my slow sales that I've seen the last month and a half is because I drew the line.
Yeah.
And if I was at 15, I think that I would have at least bridge the gap of that 20%.
Yeah, we're willing to play the game, but we're not willing to lose at the game.
I mean, at some point, you're not making money.
It's just ridiculous.
Right. At
The
some
more
point.
people that feed into their greed, the more they're going to continue to do it. So, 10 is it. That's it.
Yeah. My chartreuse has never been accepted as yellow. It's really bothered me.
What is that?
I think John is grumpy today because yeah.
He's grumpy because he's tired.
I am tired.
He is tired.
That doesn't mean that after the live stream I'm gonna be just sitting around. I'm gonna be working. Just the show goes on. LSGS Rob says I only list 2 to 3 times per week. Haven't seen a difference from listing every day. Sales and traffic are still consistent. Also, never had issues when going on vacation or anything.
Yeah, you're a lucky guy.
Well, but I got to tell you, it just depends on what. I think a lot of it's what you're selling. Sell good stuff, you have less obstacles in your way.
Yeah.
Sell stuff with high competition and lower sell-through rate. Now you really got to fight for those sales, and everything you do is or don't do is under a microscope.
Yeah.
Mr. Galt, Josh Galt's with us.
Oh, hi, Josh.
Thanks for being here, and happy Canadian Thanksgiving Day.
Is that what today is?
Yeah, I don't know if they have the whole spread of turkey and all that stuff, but if you do,
Well, happy Thanksgiving.
Eat a slice
Canadian
for me.
Style.
Yeah, and as Josh mentioned in his live stream last week, and I think I mentioned as well, we're going to get this podcast going. I've just been slow to the game. I'm trying to, how we have this overlay for this live stream, trying to make one for the channel, not the channel, but for the live the podcast. It's not going to be a live podcast. It's just going to be one where we get together. We have a solid hour of good conversation, something that it's sort of a combination of my show and Josh's. If you guys like his show, you're certainly, I think, going to like this. And
I think it's a good duo. I mean, I will not be on there, guys. It's going to be the one and only.
We'll have guests on and stuff,
and Josh.
And it's going to be.
I think it's a great combo.
I think it's going to be topic driven, based on current things going on and your comments and questions. We find a couple good questions, good material to focus on, and we're going to have some good conversations. So I think it'll be pretty good. So we're going to iron all the details out. We even have a name for it. I'm not going to put it out just yet, but you'll hear some things very soon about it. David says it's 11 p.m. here. No chance of FedEx. Nope. Marilyn Wilson says hello from Arkansas. My sales are stable, which is okay. I'll take stable.
Stable is better than unstable.
Uh-oh, Sylvia, you got COVID. Don't like it.
Oh, no. I hope you feel better fast.
That's the biggest concern I have with all this traveling is oh, my throat. I can feel my throat. It's like, oh, crap. Am I getting something? Right. But Love It Collectibles.
I know I caught something. I think mine is a head cold. I've been sneezing like no other.
And the way we work is if she gets it, I get it. We share.
Yeah, we're sharing.
We live and die together, I guess. Yeah. Love It Collectibles says hi from CJ. CJ from Love It Collectibles. Spencer Bergquist says just found you and subscribe because I want to get into eBay selling. I'm in Silicon Valley, San Jose, home of eBay, and I was looking for eBay. And thank you, by the way, for the sub. Thanks for being with us. Yeah. But I was looking for the eBay building. We went right by the Google Cloud. There's the Dell Technologies. We're in that area. It's not far from the Levi Stadium where we were at.
Oh my gosh! Is the Boss event next week?
I think it is. We got to get that.
Crap,
we got to get on it. We got to get on it. Yeah. Andy says I got a few sales this weekend, but for the most part, still farting dust in my store. Yeah, don't like farting dust.
We don't like farting dust.
Yeah, farting dust has this terrible sell-through rate that sucks.
Yes.
But you can take some of that farty dust and put it in a jar and sell it on eBay.
Sell it on eBay.
Yeah, that'll improve your sell-through rate. Spencer says, I'm enjoying your chat, John and Jenna. You're so honest. Love to hear your eBay seller stories and love hearing the stories. Well, thank you.
Thank you, Spencer.
Great. There's one person out there
Somebody
that
likes it.
All right. Gail says, eastern side of Nebraska, cool weather. Last week had a frost warning.
Ooh.
And then the echo came back with a vengeance. I don't know why.
That's when we went black.
Oh, okay. So sorry about that delay. We have Jeff Zenick says, hi, John and Jenna and folks. I'm here Packing up the orders from the long weekend and listening. Here's a quote for y'all. Things will be far worse than they are now and far better. I wait. Bukowski. Yeah, I mean, and this world is just so much stuff going on in this world. Just forget the politics. Things that are much more serious than, if I sold something on eBay. So my thoughts are with those people. The beard Scott says grocery prices out of control. Yeah. I mean, we went grocery shopping and it's like, wow, I didn't even buy any I didn't really buy meat.
I feel like I got nothing.
I didn't buy any steaks or anything, and we spent like a good $300. I'm like, wow, that's nice.
Yeah, and that's just for the two of us.
Yeah. Let's see. Beard says we're only at the beginning; it'll get way worse. I fear that's the case. I fear that
how much work. Like I feel like it's like for the last almost 4 years now, we've been saying it's going to get worse. It's going to get worse. It's worse. It's worse. But how much worse is it going to get?
I mean,
I'm just tired.
You got things that are happening outside this country. Conflict tends to make things a little bit more difficult for economies. You've got just the Fed. They're doing their thing. We're jacking up interest rates. All these things that are happening, and it has an impact. And I fear, and I hope this isn't the case. I'm hoping that I'm wrong, but I think we're going to lose a lot of sellers here who just can't stomach it, can't make it because, they continue to do the things that they've been doing. Are you done with that?
I'm sorry.
Okay. Jeez, I'm not talking.
I was trying to get my drink.
So I just fear that there's some, more problems ahead. And I hate to be the Debbie Downer kind of person.
Okay, then let's pick it up.
Well, I mean, that's what
if you hit the like button,
you get your sale.
You're going to get your sale in 24 hours, within 24 hours.
But see, here's the thing. I'm not going to sit up here and tell you there's problems on the horizon, guys. The sky is falling. Let's do something about it. I mean, look, if you're just for whatever reason refusing to go in and fix your crappy listings, let's just be real about it. You're going to be one of those people that are going to suffer for it. So, and maybe your listings kind of look good on the surface, but maybe you're missing a couple things. Those things can make a difference. But, it takes time. It takes effort. Who wants to spend an hour a day or 2 hours a day or, however big your store is, all that time when you could be doing something else? I think we're in your condition. It's better served to list more items, but I think we need to change course with that mindset.
Kate got her sale just now.
Awesome.
See? Get the like.
Spencer says you two are giving some excellent advice. I'm enjoying this so much. Well, awesome.
Oh, well, thank you.
Well, thank you. And
we're not right. We're just normal people spitting shit out.
We do this Mondays and Fridays, 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 p.m. Eastern time. So be here every time. Muzza Crypt, I'm not even going to try. I believe it'll get worse, especially these wars going on now. The United States will get involved.
It's going to get bad, guys.
Yeah. It is.
I don't even want to talk about
Glenda says, hi, John and Jenna, and everyone on the best chat on YouTube. Awesome. Thank you. Had 3 sales yesterday after a week of nothing. Yeah, it's just weird. There's an answer somewhere. I think almost every item on eBay that has previous solds, if you're selling just some weird thing that, it's an off thing and no one's bought it before, well, that's probably the answer to that, but if that's the key, guys. If it's sold before, why can't it sell again? And I'm not just saying that one sell in 90. I'm saying multiple times. Why is it selling for someone else and not for you? That's the answer you need to find the answer to, or the question you need to find the answer to. And I think people are, some people are playing 3D chess. Some people are playing 4D. The folks that are playing 4D chess with sales and dig deeper like that to find the answers to why this item's selling for someone else and not you, those people are going to have more success than those who are just like, I don't care, I'm just listing. You got to put the effort into your success.
Yeah.
James says the war in the Middle East is going to raise gas prices even higher.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think so. Brandy says it's going to get worse. There's areas where people aren't affected as much because they make so much, but a lot of people are feeling it. Yep.
That's right.
Guy Greer says October is a bad month historically, when the Great Depression started, as well as a few revolutions. Yep.
The world is a frightening place right now.
Yeah, and that's why a lot of people see this. A lot of people are tightening up the purse strings too, saying, what if I don't have a job, in a few months? Because that's been happening all year. People have been laid off, losing jobs. Maybe they're hearing rumors at their work. You think they're going to go out and spend extra money that maybe they might need, instead of saving it? I don't think so. Our electric price has gone up 140% since last year, and insurance, that's a huge hurt.
Oh.
Yes, I've had back-to-back months where we paid $500 for an electric bill during the summer, and it's never been that high. It was like 3-something was the highest ever paid.
Never paid that high.
Yeah, and my first thought is, well, maybe my AC is like not as efficient,
yeah.
But it's not. It's just the way the times are. Biff Boffo says, need versus want. I still don't buy it. You sold those ball cubes with ease. I'm still in collectibles, selling my store followers every month and increasing that number. I sold them with ease, but if you look at the prices I sold those at, they weren't at all.
We didn't win they weren't the lottery.
No, I had to lower the price a few times to get that right number where I didn't get any. For instance, I saw sold comps for some of those football cases, like $55, $50 free shipping. I couldn't move mine for, I think it was like $40 is around the number I had out there free shipping. And even then I was taking offers on some of these because I was only in the cases for $1.50. My mindset was just make as much money and move them. So I hear your example, but for me, I was really, really aggressive with trying to move those. Had I just said, the sold comps historically say 50 to 55 free shipping, and I would have stood my ground, you'd see a pile of cases back here.
Yeah. And we just wanted them to move. We're not sitting on product just to keep product so that we get high top dollar for it.
Yeah.
Our product is priced to move, and if we get an offer that we paid maybe $2 or $3 for the item anyway, get rid of it. It makes more room.
I'm interested in the churn.
For others, yeah.
Whatever that number would have been, maybe I would have had to go down to 35 free shipping, right? Knowing that it's going to cost me about 15, max 20 to ship the item. If I'm into for $1.50, I still have room to get something out of it and churn it. I want to get this stuff moved so I can buy the new batch of whatever, right? And so for some, they're set. Look, I'm not going to budge beyond $50 for those cases, and they might sell 1 or 2 here, but they're not going to really move them the way I really got aggressive. Those baseball cases, the only way I was able to sell most of those baseball cases was to put them in a 36-pack, and I think I sold them for like $69.99 free shipping. So I only made like $30 because I had promoted those. I didn't make a whole lot on those. I made some, but I didn't hold out either. Ernie says the economy is going to crash hard before it gets better. Let's hope that's not the case, but you may very well be correct on that. Guy Guru says, even if you're doing well, you got to at least respect that a big chunk are hurting, not be in denial about it.
That's right.
Yeah. Just because you're not hurting, look, I'm doing better than I have we're doing better than we have in the last few years, to have money in the bank, in case we have a couple bad months. We have that now. We didn't have that last year.
Yeah, our respect for people who are killing it is very high. We respect those who are killing it, but we also respect the little guys like us who are trying to make the bills get paid.
I respect the people that are really trying to make this thing work.
Everywhere from in between, there's a huge respect for this community because it takes a lot of dedication, self-discipline to do this job. There's a lot of people in the workforce that couldn't do this job because they're not self-driven. They don't push themselves and make sure they push every single day.
Yeah.
That this is a different type of human being that can do this job.
We have 177 people watching right now. Hit the like button, by the way. I'm sure there's a large percentage of you who have hit the thumbs down button that cannot stand the sound of my voice and are still tuned in because you're trying to find any answer you can to figure out your situation. Even that means you're going to listen to some yahoo like me. Maybe you could find a nugget in that to get the answer to what you're looking for. And to me, it's about how can we help as many people as we can I know there's a lot of people also on the other side of the coin saying, you idiot, you're giving out all the information, you're hurting other sellers. But it's about, look, if you look at the total number of sellers on eBay and the number of 177, actually 176 watching right now, if 176 people improve their listings and do better as a result of watching this channel, it's a pimple on the eBay butt of the number of other sellers that don't have this information. So we are not killing your sales because we're giving out information. We're just trying to help people and maybe give you ideas. And LSGS Rob says, I don't even know what a downturn is. I've not had any of these that X channel always talks about. Neither have my sales turned off. Just the normal ups and downs. It's about what you're selling. And I agree with that. That's my story.
100%.
What Rob just said is my story, but I understand because I see the messages. I see the chats. I see people saying I'm having problems. I see the stores that people are sending me links to, and I see the type of things that people are doing with their stores, what they're selling, and I understand it, right?
And we came from, having the worst year of our lives in 2022. That was the worst year for us as a business. Our finances were out just crazy. And we couldn't get eBay to work for us. And we were about ready to, put in the notice and be done. But thankfully, we figured it out.
We had some hard conversations. I mean, we had a number of conversations last year where Jenna's like, and this is like, she's like, you need to go get a job to me. And I'm like, wait, I got my channel. I mean, that's bringing in a little bit of money at the time. It was, making a little bit more now than we were last year. As your channel grows, that's just kind of the way it happens, AdSense revenue and all that. But I mean, even with that, and eBay wasn't bad. And I was looking at it, what we were making was the equivalent of like $15 to $20 an hour on our stores. So it's like, okay, if I go get a job, what? Well, if I go get a job, are you going to take over all this work that I do? Because I do a lot. Okay. And are you going to take it over? Chances are probably not. So if anyone was to get a job, that was my argument. We had that discussion, and thankfully we didn't neither of us needed to do that because we made some tough changes. And, I'm willing to bet that there's some people out there that have opportunities out there that they're not even aware of. They just got to look really hard and find it and make these tough changes to their business.
The change for us was right in our town. That's why I say you've got to look within the neighborhoods.
Local is always good. I mean,
yeah.
I stopped buying large freight pallets for a number of reasons. They're cherry picked. But I mean, if you look at the cost of freight now, you think gas is bad, that's passed on to your cost of freight. It's not even worth it anymore, what you're getting. Maybe bin stores can still justify buying these large truckloads and pallets, but as someone who sells on eBay, it's certainly not a business model for me anymore. Karen says, this is a Michael Jordan.
It says Michael Jordan, no one designed.
Yeah, Michael Jordan.
Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
And that's his autograph.
It says take flight.
And it says take flight.
Yeah. Picked it up at the Nike store.
How does your ADHD feel now?
Yeah, it's my autograph. I like to autograph my own shirts now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Tommy says, people having a bad time pay zero attention to what they're doing. eBay doesn't source for you, photograph the items, price list, or promote the items, yet eBay is to blame.
Right.
It's easy to blame things, but not that you're not doing. It's easy to just blame all kinds of things, but to take control, it's the hardest thing to do, I think. No One Design says, word of the day is fudge, but I never use fudge.
I did.
Oh, okay. Bobble says, I stopped sourcing a long while ago to get rid of my inventory hoard, but it's all wants, jewelry, and collectibles. Thank goodness I had a lot of collectible panties for some rich, weird guy.
Collectible panties?
That's just really weird.
Okay.
Now, I know you can't sell used underwear, but can you sell used underwear in a jar?
Oh,
I don't know.
come on,
Well, you can
man.
sell farts in a jar.
Ew.
The curator of thrift says the algorithm is sofa.
So
I also got all the eBay swag coming. Yeah, if I get eBay swag, trust me, I'm going to give it away. Unless it's a shirt that actually fits me, I'm probably not going to keep it. Biff Boffo says, yep, Jenna, for serious collectors, wants or needs, they'll stretch the life on an old pair of shoes in order to build their collections. That's their source of joy.
Yes.
But you're right in that people have different. I just had the word. People have different
Definitions?
No.
People have different.
You guys have it.
Read it again because you might. Might pop up. That's what happens to me.
I can't even think. Maybe it's because I'm just so tired. But people are. I know. I can't even think. This the word I had to when I was going to talk about it, and I can't. I just hate this. But nonetheless, people will buy things that they shouldn't. They have priorities. People have different priorities. So that is a priority for them.
Biff Boffo said it. He said priorities.
Yeah. People have different priorities. Like some people have to have their $10 Starbucks every morning on the way to work.
Which is insane.
If you look at the math, that's like $300, well, $200 something a month if you say every day before work, that they could easily cut out if they had to, but they can't. And if they justify it that they have to have it, even though they can't pay their bills. So that's priorities. Priorities are screwed up for some people. Sylvia says, I put my store on vacation again. I don't want no one else getting COVID. I hope eBay understands that.
Yeah,
the algorithm don't understand.
They don't care, but we do.
Now,
and we hope you get better.
This is either Al Dunk or AI Dunk. I find it crazy that we give eBay so much in fees and can't even get in touch with the supervisor when you really need one, just the rep that says they'll send it back to the back office team. Or they'll promise a supervisor. You can get someone on the phone and say, you're going to get a supervisor on the phone for me. Oh, well, they're all busy right now. Can we have them call you back? 9 times out of 10, they don't.
There's never a call back.
No, can't say never. It's happened. I had a supervisor call me back and give me $100 credit just because of the problems I've gone through. So they exist, but it's not likely. Tex and Mechanics says, any idea how much they're going to tax people who sell more than $600? Well, there's so many.
That's to be seen. I mean, I don't even know if that'll even come about.
Well, it probably will. I know eBay's. If you go to eBay Main Street, there's a thing you can go in and fill out and petition your senator, congressman to say, to fight that or to vote against it or vote it down. But, you may make $600 and that's all you make. It's going to be a lot less on your tax bill than if you make $10,000. Mm-hmm. So there's just so many intangibles, how much your cost of goods, how much did you spend into the business? Yeah. Got to get a CPA on it because I'm not one, but I know what works for me. And you can't, that's just such a wide question. It's not one.
It's very broad and it's
words
not something we can even
begin
to pinpoint on. That's, I mean,
could never give you an accurate answer, but like for some, look at the amount you've made and say, okay, pull out 25%. And that's what they put aside. I try to do something like that. I think because I don't have state taxes, I think I pull out 20. Just knowing that at the end of the day, I'm going to be able to deduct things like cost of goods, the shipping labels, eBay fees, my supplies, various costs to run the business.
Yeah, we have lots of write-offs.
But I don't even know that number, what I'm going to owe until I do my taxes. I just pull money out and put it in my savings. Let's see. Patricia says, Tex, it will depend on your net and total taxable income.
Right.
So it's not a question that anyone can really answer.
Yeah, it's only something you can go over with your tax person.
Lori says, I was shopping for some Jay, Jill, and Talbot sweaters for myself on eBay this weekend. Got a good laugh at some sellers who used AI without checking. One listing said, you'll like the sweater if you have a friend named Jill.
Oh my gosh.
Another one said, if you like tall boots, you're sure to be pleased with this sweater.
Oh my goodness.
Right.
Now that's comical.
Well, because all AI is doing is playing a word game. So they say Jill, they don't think of a brand, they think of a person. It's maybe it learns from that eventually, but it's playing a word game. So if you're putting all your trust in, I'm just going to set an item description, and I think if eBay's developing this, I think they kind of want you to use it, at least for most people, because they don't have anything there. They just have, don't return I don't take returns and all this crap they put in their item description. They don't put this together for you not to use it because they want your listing to have keywords that's driven from the item specific. It's pulling it over into where a buyer can click on it and understand, what you're saying. So I use keywords like I go into Google and I find like this model number and here are the specs, and I'll just copy and paste that into the listing, and that will give the buyer some information. I don't really like to put paragraphs in mine. I think buyers want to see bullet points.
They just want to know the facts. They don't want to see all the fluff.
Buyers look at it and say TMI DNR.
Because you'll be lucky to get them to read it.
Yeah, TMI DNR, too much information, did not read. They just skip onto it. But if you put it in bullet points and the first like 3 or 4 words in each bullet you not highlight but you bold, now they'll see, okay, it's really easy to read, and that's kind of what I do. Guy Guru revised 200 titles today. I'm not sitting on my hands. Everything I can think of, I am trying. Yeah. But are you looking at your competition? Are you looking at the solds for whatever you're changing to see what did they do? What did this seller do? What's different about their listing than mine? Yeah. GigBase says, I smashed the like. Now I'm waiting on my sell. 24 hours.
You got 24 hours.
Yeah. Tommy says, price adjustment was the key. Once April hit, also killing international, only 2 changes. Yeah, I'd like to take advantage of international, but my items are so big that no one's going to want to pay that kind of shipping to eBay for a 20-pound box of whatever, Tommy says, I sell similar off myself 100% of the time. So if eBay breaks, I see it immediately and I have to figure it out. Mm-hmm. Jovial says, oh, Haggies, it is nasty to me. Scrapple is 4 stars compared to Haggies. All depends on what you grew up eating. Scrabble. You eating like word tiles? I don't know what that is. Scrapple. I don't know what Scrapple is. Guy Guru says, I think these companies have put too much stock into AI. I know it'll get more and more advanced so quickly, but it's still in infancy and very buggy. Look at ChatGPT. It is worse in math now. But it's going to get, I think it's going to get like really like, wow, amazing. I just had it right. I actually tried something that I was amazed. I had to share with our son before he moved out. But I'm a big Star Wars fan. And I said to myself, okay, what would it say if I asked it to, I just said, make a full script of the 10th Star Wars movie. There's not going to be a 10th Star Wars movie, but 10th Star Wars movie featuring these characters. I said, Rey, R2-D2, C-3PO, Chewbacca, right? And the villain is Darth Sidious. Anyone who knows Star Wars, that was a villain that was talked about that was never introduced. It was like the baddest of the baddest. And it went through and it made a full-blown script of a movie from the beginning to the end, not word for word, but like the synopsis. It must have been about 10 paragraphs. And it's like, wow, this is a movie I'd want to watch. It was amazing to me. But that would go through that so in such detail. And all I did was provide it 2 sentences. Let's see. Tommy says, the absolute biggest problem with nearly everyone I talk to that is struggling, they do not run eBay like a business. They buy on gut and what they like versus what sells. That is not a business. Right. If your buying point is that's cute, then you're not a business.
I buy on what's cute.
Yeah, that's not a business.
Myself.
That's not a business.
That's not for a business.
Jenna here's got a lot to learn, and I allow her to learn these things. We're in Kentucky. We talk about that. Oh. Yeah, that Louis Vuitton purse, right? That was under my only thought, and I told her, so if you want to buy it, I thought she wanted it for herself, but I had asked her.
Initially, I did, but depending on whether it was real or not, was whether I was going to sell it or not.
What kind of made me think everything was up to snuff is they had this purse with 2 other purses chained up together. I guess they didn't want shoplifters jacking their purse, right? So come to find out, Jenna goes online, does the homework, and apparently the stitching isn't the right color for that purse, and there's a
lot that's not right about the bag.
But had she not said, okay, I'm interested in this purse, but I'm not sure yet, I'll get back to you, step aside, maybe take a couple photos of the whatever, look up the purse, look online, how to tell a real Louis Vuitton from a fake Louis Vuitton. And, okay, well, this is not real. Now, if you still wanted it, you could have said, look, this isn't real. I just found out it's not real. I'm interested because I think it's cool. I'll give you $10 for it. So it's using that as leverage to get a deal, if you're trying to buy it for yourself, you still don't need, whether it's $1, you shouldn't buy it to resell. But I think that's one learning point that she now will know next time. Let's look it up and see if it's real or not. But I think sometimes you got to learn these lessons for yourself.
Yeah, I don't know shit about bags. Like I don't. I'm not a collector. I have only 2 of my very own that are real, and John paid an arm and a leg for.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm not a professional freaking purse seller. I'm not. And so I don't know what to look for. I don't know the specs. So when I started looking at how to, you know, what I'm supposed to be looking for, it was very clear from the very start of the list that this was fake. And, you know, yes, I'm bummed out that it's not real. However, I feel that much more knowledgeable because I know what to look for that particular type of bag.
And sometimes you got to learn that burn. When you get burned on something like that, it helps you then the next time. I'm not going to get burned again.
Yeah, I won't get burned again on Louis Vuitton.
So it was a $25 experiment that she got to keep a bag for. But
I'll be keeping it and definitely using it. But it does suck that we paid $25 for a fake Louis Vuitton.
So Mad Scientist says, I turn on the reminder, did not remind me about your video, now just showing up. Make sure you hit that notification bell. There's settings within the notification bell drop down, I think, that you could check as well. So,
yeah, and also if it shows that you are subscribed and you're not getting the notifications, go in and turn it off and then wait like 5-10 seconds, go back and turn it back on.
Mark Sedek says, in my store, if a buyer sends me a message, I'll always reply. This past week, I had a question to 2 large sellers. Both did not bother to reply. Sellers like this should be banned. Well, if anyone doesn't have the time to reply to you, it means that their sales in their mind are just fine and they don't need your business.
Right.
So maybe go and give it to someone else. The curator of thrift says, I just signed up for Poshmark before I came on here. Now to get cross-posting. Yes, get cross-posting. That's I think it's been a lot of success for a lot of people.
You know, can be very successful.
Karen says, I've noticed my 30-day impressions are down, but conversions and sales are up. They're showing listings to people more likely to buy them, which is good. Yeah. And Josh says, I'm not going to make any drastic changes until after Q4, just watching the others for now to see what results they get. Guide says, retail arbitrage is good if you can sit on an item for a while. There's always a race to the bottom at first. Yeah. And then we have Ping says, someone asked on eBay forum why they weren't getting any views. Terrible title and no item specifics and no description. Duh. I didn't say that to him, you know, but I'm sure others did.
But I'm sure because those forums are brutal and they're mean and people are they are warriors behind a keyboard and they don't soften the blow at all.
What I like about the eBay forums is that if someone goes on there and posts a little thing about, well, why am I not making sales? Usually it's linked to their account. You can go in and see what their store looks like and say, okay, well, this explains it. Jacqueline says that sales have been slow and she's learning to cross list. And then Husty's Emporium says, Krylov. Now, I was sitting in the airport this morning, tired as it's an algorithm based stuff. It's a lot of, I started diving into that. And once you get into the meat and potatoes of it, your head hurts. So
my head hurts.
This is going to be one of those things I start looking into more and having ChatGPT break down for me. But I don't know if that's anything that eBay has implemented yet. So it's something that I'm going to look into. Anyone knows any information on it as it pertains to eBay, certainly post that in the chat or comments down below. We have Brian Barrett says, hello from Dallas. Thank goodness sales have been great this weekend and sourcing plentiful here in Dallas.
Good.
Well, good. I'm glad your sales are better than your football team. So that's really good to hear. Hopefully you're not a Dallas fan because I'm not a San Francisco or Dallas fan, but Dallas totally stunk it up last night. Christine says, I strictly use Ask Jeeves or Miss Cleo for item specifics. Remember Miss Cleo?
No.
Call me now for your free reading. I remember that.
Oh my God, that is so old.
Call me now for your free reading. Used to come on at 2 a.m. Like, wow, will I make any sales today, Miss Cleo? Well, yes, but you just spent it all calling me now. Dre Work says, today is a good day. I just hit 500 items in my store. Now go back and approve the first 100 or so.
Very nice.
And then Josh says, SFO is the nicest airport in the USA. Maybe Denver a close second. I flew into Oakland, though.
Yeah.
Bard,
I've never been there.
Bard is live to the internet, whereas ChatGPT is missing the last 2 years.
Yeah, that's the one. Thank you, Beard.
See if I can get somebody new. Simple Beautiful says, hey, J&J, love you all as usual. Can you go over sell-through rate? Do you use Terapeak? I use Terapeak as reference. Sell-through rate is simply, it's the number of, now eBay looks at it, it's the number of page views, how many times people have looked at your item and as to the number of times it's been sold. That's kind of it's in the simplest forms. They have conversion rate for your store because it's really hard to, take a sell-through rate for all of your items, but they'll break it down per item. And different items, you have some items that sell like sell-through rate for gardening tools, like the weed whackers that I sell. Those like 11-12%, right? That's a pretty high sell-through as compared to something that's saturated might only have like 1 to 2% sell-through rate. So Terapeak is a good tool to get ideas, and I'm going to make a video on it to talk about it. Tommy turned me on to that. It's not something I didn't even know was there until he showed me. But if anything, you're struggling to find stuff to buy to sell. That's it. If I have something that's in the 2 to 3% sell-through rate, and I'm looking at it at a yard sale, maybe that's something you pass from now that you were buying before, and instead start looking at some of these higher sell-through rate type of items. Ashley says, listing a tie that was given to me. It's a novelty tie for pharmacists and doctors with an erythromycin theme. I don't know what that is. eBay flagged it thinking it was selling the drug. What if it was a book on the drug? Yeah, you just maybe have to put specialty pharmacist tie or something, and don't put that at all in the listing. Maybe just let the photo speak for itself. Someone that knows what that is going to see it on the tie, and they'll be willing to buy it. Or the alternative is not to list it. Husty says, I feel like it's a trap when you piggyback off a previous listing. Most of the specifics are wrong and other issues, and sometimes that's off a sold listing too. Makes a bit of a mockery of it all. That's why you got to review. See, for me, I'll look at it and I'm reviewing. There's a lot of times I'll remove a lot of the crap. Yeah. And people put crap in there. How about free taxes? They're like, how do you tell a buyer in the additional item specifics that no taxes, right? Stuff I see that all the time. Free shipping. Like, I ain't offering free shipping. They see that you left it in there. Now they're going to try to hold you to it. So I go through and I clean it up. So I piggyback and I clean it up. And a lot of times I'm taking it, okay, well, this third-party brand, I'm just going to put it as unbranded, right? Things that we've been talking about recently, people think that the unbranded thing is better. And if I'm not going to use that brand in my title, maybe it's better off as unbranded, and a lot of those third-party brands people aren't searching for, so you shouldn't be using them. Let's see. Ashley says, Husty, you have to be pretty careful. Most of the time I use the title and do the rest on my own, or just kind of go through and find out. And sometimes it takes time, going back to what I was talking about, tech and sports. He was saying, and I agree with this, and this is sort of the way I used to handle things when I worked in, the career that I had before eBay. And that is, sometimes I'm taking the longer route and I'm not so concerned with the shortcut, because if you put a lot of shortcuts into play, you're opening yourself up to a lot of mistakes and errors. So I'll take that time, piggyback off a listing, make sure the item specifics look good. And if there's anything questionable, maybe it could be, I'm taking it out, because your buyer, believe it or not, even though you may not say it anywhere in your title or item description, you leave a bad thing in there that maybe could cause confusion to the buyer, because they can see your item specifics in the listings, they'll say, well, you said it was large in your item specifics, but I don't care. Your title says extra large. I saw it in the item specifics as large, and this is an INAD. Biff says eBay did explain their Q2 earnings, which were up from ad revenue, and the stock dropped 10% that day. Wall Street knows exactly what's going on. Believe me, eBay headed to 37 in 2 weeks. Let's hope things get better. I mean, I like to be optimistic. I'm not going to be a fool and say that everything's great. I can still be optimistic and know that it's probably not likely to happen. Yeah. Thomas says, what an eBay podcast that may have some insight. Haven't found an eBay podcast yet that has more knowledge than my 5-year-old about eBay. What about the one that you used to do? Your podcast was pretty good. Well, actually, I think that was more fun than anything else. But
entertainment.
When is that coming back? Let's see. Just trying to see if
There are some questions coming at the end.
Okay, Josh says, come to Canada, $350 a week.
That's for groceries.
Oh,
when we're talking about groceries.
Thomas says the people don't even look up at the junk before they buy it and list it, let alone go back and fix things. Actually, if you polish a turd, it's a turd, right? That's a shiny one, though. People like shiny things. Bay Golf Exchange. I think the answer is Krylov. I'm going to look into it, but you're going to have a degree. Yeah, if you just type in Krylov, you can get some Russian dude. You got to dig deeper and maybe type in the word algorithm to go along with it, and you get into some really. It was too early, and I'm sitting at the airport at 3 a.m, tired off my butt, waiting an hour and a half for them to let me board, and I'm looking at this text, and I'm going, yeah, this is a subject for another day. I'm going to look into that. Mario says that eBay is very slow. For a lot of people, it is. Hill Valley Vintage can't have too good of a game. Jeffrey Dahmer says, hello, I'm Jeffrey Dahmer. Well, good for you. That's just a weird one. Noah Design says, John, out of curiosity, did you write on your white shirt? Nope, Nike did. Blithering Rando says, make sure you don't have a well pump running constantly. I had my electric bill pump jump just because my well pump was running 24/7.
Oh, wow.
During that time, she would leave that AC unit running. She'd leave the garage when she was done, and it would be running. And I'd go out there an hour or two later, and it's like, why is this on? And so many times.
Hey, you say she, right. You say she, but it's a we.
No,
we
I'm not
both
French.
were doing it.
I'm not French. Hustle and Grow says, I think it's crazy to have all this convo about how many hoops to jump through on eBay to sell instead of being able to focus on the actual selling part.
Isn't that the truth?
Yeah. But I think the hoops will unfortunately weed out the sellers who aren't willing to do that. So, it sucks to do it, but she laughs. She sounds like a lunatic. She's laughing at things that nobody has any idea what she's laughing about. So it's like, it's like,
I'm sorry.
Can you wait?
Can I? No.
Self-control.
Tommy said his 5-year-old made me quit because she wasn't learning anything except curse words.
Oh, okay. From Tommy. And he also says you don't have to jump through hoops unless you sell mediocre items. That's called parkour. Love It Collectibles. All this doom and gloom talk makes me feel like we need a rally cry from John Belushi and Animal House. It should sober you up a little bit in that, you got to, I think there's a silver lining to this kind of talk. Things are going to get harder, which means you got to drill down even more. You cannot stay comfortable, guys. It kind of carries over to the conversation we had last week. If you're comfortable doing the same thing and you're just going to ride the storm because it worked for me 5 years ago, it's got to work again. Well, maybe there will be a day where that'll work again. But right now, that ain't the day, and it ain't anytime soon. So you got to adapt in your business if you want to succeed right now. Tommy says, I've had zero sympathy for people. They don't take the time to learn eBay for themselves. Just watch YouTube and follow like sheep. They cannot be helped. Yep. You get people who will jump in front of a camera and say, I've been doing this all my life. Mm-hmm. You must believe me, but my sales are the worst that I've ever had.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't want you to believe me. If I get up here and complain about bad sales, I hope that you didn't implement a lot of the things that I was doing in 2022. I was in front of a camera. But I did say, and I will say every time I get in front of this camera when I think about it, that I don't have all the answers. I can only tell you what I'm doing, And I'm hopeful that many of you will jump into the chat or the comments and say, dude, I see your store. If I was you, I would do this different. Selfishly, I'm hoping for information. I'm hoping for someone to help me. I'm
Say,
trying to.
This is why I do it this way.
And there's been a lot of people that helped me, and helped me
because
figure it out.
Believe it or not, we learn from you as much as you may or may not learn from us.
Yeah. So yeah, I am being a selfish butt because I'm making videos. I'm spending my time making videos, and I'm searching for an answer that I can apply to myself. Josh Galt, he is a selfish guy because he's making these lives and he's looking for an answer that he can find for his business. But people are being helped through those chats. Mm-hmm. And sorry,
it's
Josh, I think you're the greatest. You're a great guy. I didn't mean to put it that way, but it's the truth. We're all internet. Look, all people, no matter what, you may be making a cooking show. Maybe you're looking for that next recipe. Whatever it is you're talking about, you don't have all the answers. But it's the networking, the talking, learning from people.
Is we learn from each other. That's why we started this whole thing, is because we knew the information that was out on YouTube 4 years ago was not the answer. And we had to learn from our mistakes because those YouTubers were giving out poor information. And I'm not saying we came, and made this channel and we're better and we know the answers. Mm-hmm. That is not the case. We needed the community to be able to help us grow in our business, just as you may think that we might.
I mean, how many times, you'll never know this, but Jenna can tell you how many times I've said, you know what? People don't want to hear what I got to say. I'm just some dude that makes videos. Really, do they want to hear what I have to say? Because honestly, I don't have all the answers. And I feel like that I'm up here in front of a camera and I feel bad because I don't have all the answers. I'll have a bad day and I'm like, okay, well then, if I'm sitting here having a bad day, what are you really going to learn from me? Right. But, things even out. Bay Golf Exchange says, I have plenty of ideas, but pretty sure that Krylov is what resellers should be asking more about. I'm going to be looking into that, and I'm sure Josh has already started jumping into that, trying to find out, because his mind goes like 1,000 miles an hour.
John and Josh are very similar, where they will do the research to find answers, and when they don't have the answers or can't find the answers, they're going to keep pushing to find it.
Yeah, and then James says, I've been making 1 to 2 sales a day lately. Slow but steady is better than nothing. I promote at 3%. Will increasing my promotion percentage increase my sales? It will not necessarily increase your sales. It'll increase your traffic. You cannot have more sales without more traffic in general. You got to get traffic to your listings. So that's what eBay's counting on. And by, what's adding, and I'm not advocating you do this. It's up to you what you want to do. But what's adding 10% more in sales costs going to do for your bottom line? If you're able to sell instead of 1 to 2 a day, you're selling 5 a day, is that extra 10% worth it to you? Now, seller A could say, that'll just kill my business. Seller B has enough room. So, okay, I'm not making $30 on this sale anymore. I'm making 25, but I'm able to make that 25 faster and move that item into more product, churn more, right? So everyone's got a different answer to that question. Let's see. Simple Beautiful says, so should we focus on items with good sell-through rate? J&J, what is a good sell-through rate? I'd say anything over 5 to 6%, and even higher is probably better. I would say if you're looking at TerraPeak to get the different sell-through rate per category, it's a good way to start. Everyone should have access to that has a store, and it gives you just an idea. Okay, so the next time out and about, that thing that's getting a 10% sell-through rate that I keep passing up, I'm gonna maybe pick it up this next time. U.S. Sports Card says, do you do anything unique in the fourth quarter to get ready for tax season prep work? Nope, I keep selling. I'm the kind of guy that come January 1st, then I start getting in the data collection mode. And then I usually don't do my taxes until like March, beginning of March. Claro 50 Iffy says, really enjoy watching and listening while I'm photographing listing. I'm retired and been selling for a couple of years. You offer great advice for newbies. Well, thank you.
Awesome.
Just keep doing what you're doing, but just know that the photographing and listing is just part of the process. There's so many different things that you may or may not be doing, but keep trying to do the best you can for your business. Serious question. Do we think eBay will ever address buyers scamming sellers, sending back something other than what they bought? Yes, Jenna, I'm forever salty about the purse. If you say, do we think eBay is going to ever address buyers scamming sellers other than being a little bit more punitive to the current process where you report the buyer anytime you adjust a refund up to 50%, the buyer is automatically reported. If you get enough people reporting the same buyer, eBay has said that they do things because we don't see a report. We'll never be told what's happening to that buyer. We automatically think nothing's done. And I'm guilty of that too. But all I've ever asked eBay was to say, look, just so you guys know as sellers, we did take action on 20,000 buyers last year due to the bad behavior. That at least tells me they're doing something, right? But as far as doing anything more than what they're currently doing, I don't think so. I think it's going to be about the same. Let's see what we got here before we finish up here. I'm getting close to No One Design says, I still don't understand the use of piggybacking other people's listings when there's so many other errors with the listing. It could be better, not a shortcut to create a new listing. For me, if I go into new listing, there, it's going to ask me, what it is. It's going to have me determine what category it is, and then I'm going through and filling in all the item specifics. If I know the item is sold, chances are it has valid information. 9 times out of 10, I'll do a piggyback off of that listing that's sold, and it has very good item specifics. Most of that time, I'm taking out item specifics that I'm not sure of, and I check the category, and it's the proper category. The one time out of the 10, I'm fixing those things, okay? And every bit of that time, none of that time am I going in creating a new listing and taking those steps. For me, it just kind of saves time. And it works. Lisa says, hi, John and Jenna. Happy to see you today. Buy 2, get 20% off sale is working for me. There you go. People like that.
People like a sale.
Let's see. Thomas,
hi, Meg.
Thomas says, I guarantee the people that have been struggling for 6 months will be struggling in 6 years. Yeah, because they're set in their ways. They're set in their ways. Some people go to reselling because they don't want to work. They think that this is a business where
they think it's easy.
Yeah, I used to work in my other job. I left my job because making money on eBay is easy. It's supposed to be easy. That's what people say. I quit my job and I just want to do the basics, the bare minimum. Unfortunately, that's kind of what's happening. Let's see. James says, what is a good promotion percentage? I'm willing to do whatever it takes to increase the sales. I just have mine at 10%. I do a markdown sale at 10%, and I do a promotion at 10%. I mean, look at it. eBay, if you're promoting properly, you're going to be anywhere between 5 and 10% or more for some people, which I don't advocate. But then you add in your markdown sale, that's 10%. You add in your, your coupon, which I provide. I do a public coupon, 10%. You're looking at 30%. I mean, what about your cost? What are you into it for? How much are you trying to make?
Yeah, it all depends on what you're selling, what you're willing to, how far you're willing to go.
Yeah. And then Lilac Seller says, Meg says, hey all, thanks for being here. Let's see. I think, unless we have anything that we have here, I don't see any other questions. We are at the 2-hour mark, guys. I think we had an excellent discussion. I'm surprised I was able to catch up.
I'm surprised you made it.
But yeah.
He said, I'm just going to let you run the show because I'm tired.
This live stream has been brought to you by Neo Energy. I tell you, if it wasn't for this, I don't know how I'd be on this live stream. But in all seriousness, you guys help drive this program. I mean, if you didn't have your comments and questions, your participation, I mean, we would have ended this thing an hour ago.
We would have just been bickering the whole time.
Yeah, and just me mumbling, right? So I want to thank each and every one of you for being here. We're going to do this again on Friday, and hopefully I can get you some content in between that. But, figuring all this stuff out, maintaining your old listings, it's not fun. You're going to sit back and you'd rather be listing than going through and trying to fix something that you think should have been done right the first time. But doing that is just another example of how flipping ain't easy. And I want you to have an excellent rest of your day. Start your week, and we will talk to you very soon.
Bye, guys. We love you.
Take care, everyone.